Mean Joe Greene. Great name, great player, great intimidator.
Part of a great defense. He was part of that 70 Steelers team. They called him the Steel Curtain.
And teams were a little bit shy lining up against the Steel Curtain, and rightly so, because you had so many guys on that team that just had that mean streak. And in football, that mean streak means a whole lot, or at least it did.
It did, especially when the rules accommodated for it. Like back then, you could actually hit the quarterback. Now, the quarterbacks are protected. Right. Of course, player safety is a thing. Salaries that have increased, obviously television ratings. So you want to make sure that, the quote-unquote marquee players are available for the fans to enjoy. But back then, no. We're just going to hit you and then hit you and then hit you again. Yeah. Man, I miss the 70s.
Yeah, I do too. It was kind of like the wild, wild west out there. As a defensive player, you could do what you wanted and bring the pain, and that's what it was all about.
You could. I miss it. But see, not only, has protecting the quarterback changed, but you think about, like, back in the day, how offensive linemen approached the game.
Joe, when you put on the helmet, what would go through your mind going into combat out there?
Well, here's Mean Joe Greene talking about how the approach of the game is from the perspective of a lineman.
Football, by its nature, particularly in the trenches, is uncivilized. And that has to be a part of the thing that you can do, is become uncivilized just for a moment in time. Because if you can't be that way, you can't survive.
Mm-hmm. So even with talent, you almost have to take yourself into another, let's say, dimension to be able to compete or remain.
You have to. In one instance, you're biting on a guy's elbow or knee and gouge him in the eye because he's doing the same thing to you. And the next minute, you're trying to figure out what do you do on split backs when they're on the 3rd-yard line, and you say, well, they shifted 2 people, and here's what I'm supposed to do.
Man, I'll tell you what, I would hate to be on the bottom of one of those pileups. It is just complete mayhem. But then at the same time, Mean Joe Greene, in that Coke commercial where he gives his jersey to the kid, one of the most iconic commercials ever produced back in 1979. Well, Wes, I bet you offensive linemen never saw the sensitive side of Mean Joe Greene that we just saw right there.
I guarantee you not.